Hey everyone, and welcome back. We're diving into some fascinating research today
Oh,
about anti-fragile AI.
oh yeah.
Have you heard of this?
Yeah, definitely. It's a really hot topic in the AI world right now.
So imagine, you know how some things just break under pressure, right?
Yeah,
Some things can handle pressure, but they don't really change.
right. They just kind of stay the same.
But what if AI could actually get stronger because of challenges?
That's the whole idea behind anti-fragile AI.
That's what we're going to be looking at today.
It is, and it's pretty mind-blowing stuff.
So instead of just trying to build AI that can survive, what if we could design systems that actually thrive when things get tough?
Exactly. It's about going beyond just robustness to a whole new level of resilience.
And we've got some amazing articles and research here
Yeah, a whole stack of them.
that really dig deep into how to make AI anti-fragile, and a lot of them talk about this book called Antifragile.
You know, that book had a huge impact on me.
Yeah, by Nassim Nicholas Taleb.
Nassim Taleb. Yeah, he's a
Yeah,
brilliant thinker. So he's got some pretty revolutionary ideas
he does.
about how to deal with risk and uncertainty.
And now people are applying those ideas to the world of AI.
And one of the core ideas is that to make something anti-fragile, you have to expose it to stressors.
Right, you can't just coddle it. You got to make it work for its games. You know what I mean?
But wait a minute, that sounds kind of counterintuitive, doesn't it?
Well, it does it
Like,
first.
why would you intentionally put your AI through tough situations?
I know it seems crazy, but think about it like this. If you want to build muscle, you have to lift weights, right?
Yeah,
You got to put stress on those muscles to make them grow stronger.
I guess that makes sense.
And it's the same with AI. Controlled exposure to challenges can actually make it more resilient and adaptable.
So instead of trying to create this perfect bubble-wrapped environment for our AI, we should be giving it the equivalent of a weight room.
Exactly. But it's not just about throwing random challenges at it.
Right. It has to be the right kind of challenge.
Exactly. It's about strategically exposing it to the kinds of stressors that will help it learn and grow in the right ways.
Okay, that's starting to make more sense, but can you give me a more concrete example?
Sure. One technique is called adversarial training. Imagine you're developing an AI that's supposed to identify different types of plants.
Okay.
So in adversarial training, you would introduce images that are intentionally designed to trick the system.
Really?
Yeah, like maybe a picture of a flower that's been digitally altered to look slightly like a different species.
So you're basically trying to fool the AI on purpose.
You got it. By exposing it to these, what we call adversarial examples, you force the AI to develop a deeper understanding of the subtle features that distinguish different plants.
Interesting. So it has to learn to look beyond the surface level, right?
Exactly, and develop more robust ways of classifying things.
But would that make it truly anti-fragile?
It's a step in the right direction. Remember, anti-fragility isn't just about being tough or resilient. It's about actually improving because of challenges.
So by constantly being exposed to these adversarial examples, the AI is not only learning to avoid being tricked, but it's also gaining a more sophisticated understanding of the world.
Precisely. And another really important concept in anti-fragility is the idea of redundancy and optionality.
Okay, break those down for me. What do those words actually mean in the context of AI?
Well, think of redundancy like having a backup plan. If one part of a system fails, you have another one ready to take over.
Got it. So it's like having a safety net.
Exactly. So instead of relying on a single AI model to make decisions, you might have multiple models working together, each with a slightly different approach.
Interesting. So if one model gets confused or makes a mistake, the others can step in and correct it.
Precisely. Kind of like a team of experts double-checking each other's work.
That makes sense. And what about optionality?
So optionality is all about having a range of choices or strategies to choose from. An anti-fragile system isn't stuck in one way of doing things. It has the flexibility to adapt and explore different solutions depending on the situation.
This is making me think about those self-driving car examples we always hear about.
Oh yeah, good example.
Would building in redundancy and optionality be important for making those systems safer?
Absolutely. Imagine a self-driving car navigating a busy intersection.
Okay.
A traditional AI might just follow a set of pre-programmed rules, but an anti-fragile AI could have multiple ways of assessing the situation, analyzing data from various sensors, and even considering alternative routes if needed.
I see. So even if something unexpected happens, like a sudden downpour or a pedestrian jaywalking,
Exactly.
the AI would have more options to respond safely and effectively.
That's the idea. By building in redundancy and optionality, you're basically giving the AI more tools to deal with the unpredictable nature of the real world.
It's like equipping the AI with a Swiss Army knife of problem-solving strategies instead of just giving it a single screwdriver.
I love that analogy. That's perfect. And there's another idea from Taleb that ties into this really well.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he calls it the barbell strategy.
Okay, I'm intrigued. Tell me more about this barbell strategy.
It's kind of like hedging your bets. You combine very safe strategies with some that are high risk, high reward.
Interesting.
In the context of AI, this could mean using a combination of proven reliable algorithms alongside some more experimental, cutting-edge techniques.
So the reliable algorithms would provide a safety net while the experimental ones could lead to breakthroughs and big advancements.
Exactly. It's about balancing stability with the potential for growth.
This all sounds very promising. So how do we go from these ideas to actually designing and building anti-fragile AI systems? What are the practical steps involved?
Well, one of the key principles is to incorporate continuous feedback loops into the AI's design.
Like a constant process of learning and improvement.
Precisely. By allowing the AI to constantly learn from its mistakes and successes, we can help it adapt and grow more effectively.
So the AI would be constantly analyzing data, identifying patterns, and refining its algorithms based on its experiences in the real world.
Exactly. It's like giving the AI the ability to learn on the job and become more effective over time.
So this is all starting to paint a really interesting picture of what the future of AI could look like. And I think it's safe to say we've only scratched the surface of what anti-fragility could mean for this field.
Oh yeah, we're just getting started.
But I'm really curious to hear more about the potential benefits. What kinds of improvements could we see in the real world if we start designing AI with anti-fragility in mind?
Well, for one, I think we could see a significant improvement in the reliability and safety of AI systems.
Especially in areas where AI is making critical decisions, like healthcare or transportation.
Exactly. Imagine medical AI that can adapt to new diseases or treatment protocols on the fly, or self-driving cars that can safely navigate unexpected road conditions, or even learn from near-miss accidents to prevent future collisions.
That would be huge. We often hear concerns about AI making mistakes or being vulnerable to hacking or manipulation. Could anti-fragile AI help address those concerns?
Absolutely. By building in redundancies, allowing for optionality, and encouraging continuous learning, we can make AI systems much more robust and less susceptible to those kinds of risks.
So it's not just about making AI smarter, it's about making it more adaptable and resilient in the face of all the complexities and uncertainties of the real world.
That's it. And there are also some really exciting possibilities when it comes to using anti-fragile AI to tackle complex social and environmental problems. Imagine AI that can help us understand and adapt to climate change, or develop more sustainable ways of managing resources.
Those are some pretty big aspirations, and I think this is a great place to take a pause and
Yeah, let's dig deeper into these ideas in the next part. What's so cool about this whole anti-fragility thing is it's not just about AI.
really?
Yeah, Taleb actually says these principles can be applied to tons of different fields.
Like what?
Oh, economics, education, healthcare, you name it.
Whoa, wait, so you're telling me we could have like anti-fragile schools and hospitals?
That's the idea. Think about the traditional education system.
Okay.
It's all about rote memorization and standardized tests, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
Which doesn't really prepare students for the real world.
Yeah.
All the unpredictable challenges out there.
Yeah, totally. It's like we're trying to mass produce identical widgets instead of nurturing individual talents.
Exactly. We're not really preparing them for a world that's constantly changing.
So how would an anti-fragile school be different?
Well, instead of shielding students from failure, we could create learning environments that encourage them to experiment, take risks, and learn from their mistakes.
So like instead of getting a bad grade and feeling discouraged, they would see it as an opportunity to try again.
Exactly. Imagine a classroom where failure is just a natural part of the learning process.
I like that.
And students are encouraged to embrace challenges and develop their own unique problem-solving strategies.
That would be such a shift from the one-size-fits-all approach we see so often.
Totally. And think about what that would do for creativity and innovation.
Yeah, it would be amazing.
If we can cultivate a generation of students who are comfortable with uncertainty, who see setbacks as opportunities for growth.
Who knows what they'll be able to achieve?
Exactly. And this applies to healthcare too.
Oh, yeah, how so?
Right now, our healthcare system is mostly reactive. We wait for people to get sick and then try to treat their symptoms.
Right?
An anti-fragile healthcare system would focus on preventing illness in the first place.
Interesting. So it's not just about treating diseases, it's about making people healthier overall.
Exactly. Empowering individuals to take control of their own health Understanding their vulnerabilities, developing strategies for staying well.
And creating systems that can adapt to new challenges.
Exactly. Think about how things were during the pandemic.
Yeah, that was a crazy time.
A more anti-fragile system would have been better equipped to adapt and protect vulnerable populations.
That's a really good point. And you said earlier that anti-fragility could even apply to our personal lives.
Oh, absolutely. I actually think it's crucial for navigating life in today's world.
Why is that?
Well, we're constantly bombarded with information, facing unexpected challenges, having to adapt to new situations.
Yeah, it feels like that sometimes.
It's like the world is one giant weight room.
Yeah.
So how can we become more anti-fragile as individuals?
Yeah, I'm curious about that.
One key is to embrace discomfort. Step outside our comfort zones,
I can see how that would be helpful.
just like exposing AI to stressors. Challenging ourselves with new experiences can help us grow and become more resilient.
Yeah, it's funny because we often think of comfort as a good thing.
Right.
But if we're always staying in our comfort zones, we're not really pushing ourselves.
Exactly. And when we do face setbacks or failures, we need to see them as opportunities for learning and growth.
Instead of beating ourselves up about it.
Exactly. It's all about mindset, shifting from fragility to growth and adaptation.
Right, and that reminds me of what you said earlier about redundancy and optionality.
Oh, yeah. How so?
Well, if anti-fragile AI systems have multiple ways of approaching a problem, maybe we should too.
That's a great point. We can benefit from having a diverse set of skills, knowledge, experiences.
So instead of putting all our eggs in one basket, we should be exploring different options.
Exactly. That way, if one path doesn't work out, we have other avenues to pursue.
So it's about being curious, being open to new experiences, and not being afraid to try new things.
Absolutely. And it's about surrounding ourselves with people who challenge us, support us, and help us see things from different perspectives.
So it's like building a network of human redundancies.
I love that. It's like having a support system that can help you navigate the ups and downs of life.
Yeah, exactly. And all of this really comes down to resilience, right?
Absolutely. The more adaptable and resourceful we are, the better equipped we'll be to handle whatever comes our way.
This has been so insightful. I'm really starting to see how powerful this concept of anti-fragility is.
Me too. It really changes the way you see the world.
And I'm curious, what are some of the benefits of adopting this kind of mindset?
Well, for one, I think it can lead to greater peace of mind.
How so?
When you embrace change and uncertainty, you become less afraid of the unknown
That makes sense.
and more capable of handling challenges with grace and resilience.
Yeah, like, bring it on, world. I'm ready for anything.
Exactly. And it can also lead to greater creativity and innovation.
Because you're not so afraid to fail.
Exactly. You're more likely to experiment, take risks, come up with new solutions.
Makes sense. And it can also lead to a deeper sense of purpose and meaning in life.
Absolutely. When you're constantly challenging yourself and striving to learn and grow, you're more likely to feel engaged and fulfilled.
Like you're always on a journey of discovery.
That's beautiful. I love that. And I think that's what anti-fragility is all about.
Embracing the unexpected.
Embracing complexity, unpredictability, seeing challenges as opportunities for growth and transformation.
We've talked about anti-fragility in AI, education, healthcare, even personal growth.
It really is a universal concept.
But what about society as a whole? How could embracing anti-fragility change the way we live, work, and interact with each other?
That's a great question. I think it has the potential to revolutionize how we approach problems and make decisions.
Instead of trying to control everything.
Exactly. We could start designing systems that are adaptable, resilient, and capable of learning from their mistakes.
So instead of trying to create a perfectly ordered world, we'd be embracing the messiness.
Exactly. And I think that could lead to a more innovative, equitable, and sustainable future for everyone.
Imagine cities designed to adapt to climate change economies built on resilience social systems that empower people to thrive in the face of adversity.
Wouldn't that be incredible?
It would be a whole new world, and while there will be challenges along the way, I'm excited about the potential of anti-fragility.
Me too. It's a powerful framework for thinking about how to thrive in a world that's constantly changing.
And that leads perfectly to the next part of our conversation. You know, when we talk about the future, we always want to know, like, what's going to happen.
Yeah, we're obsessed with predictions.
But maybe that's not the right way to think about it.
Maybe not.
Anti-fragility suggests that we should be focusing on what we can't predict.
Right. The unpredictable stuff, the stuff that throws us curveballs.
So instead of trying to control everything, we should be building systems that can adapt to anything.
Systems that can actually benefit from shocks and disruptions.
But how do we do that?
It starts with letting go of the idea that we can control everything.
Yeah, it's easier said than done.
It is. We tend to think progress is linear.
Yeah.
If we just plan carefully enough, we can avoid setbacks and create a perfect world.
Yeah, like a straight line from point A to point B.
Exactly. But the real world is messy. It's
Yeah.
chaotic. It's full of surprises.
And sometimes those surprises, those unexpected events, can actually lead to amazing breakthroughs.
Absolutely. Think about the history of science.
Wow.
So many discoveries have happened by accident.
You're right, like penicillin.
Exactly.
Mhm.
Researchers stumbling upon something they weren't even looking for.
Or experiments that go wrong in a good way.
Exactly. Necessity is the mother of invention, right?
When we're forced to adapt, that's when we get really creative.
And that's what anti-fragility is all about. Embracing uncertainty, seeing challenges as opportunities.
Designing systems that can learn and adapt no matter what.
Exactly. Systems that get stronger when things get tough.
But what about human intuition and creativity?
That's a good question.
If we're building AI that can learn and adapt on its own, does that mean humans become less important?
That's something we need to be very careful about. As AI gets more powerful, we can't forget that it's a tool.
Right, a tool that we need to control.
Exactly. And like any tool, it can be used for good or bad.
So we need to make sure we're using AI to augment human intelligence, not replace it.
Exactly. AI is great at certain things like processing huge amounts of data or finding patterns that we might miss.
But humans are still better at things like empathy, critical thinking, ethical decision-making.
Exactly. It's about finding the right balance, using AI to enhance our abilities.
But also recognizing the importance of human judgment and intuition.
Precisely. And I think that's where anti-fragility can be really valuable.
How so?
By designing AI systems that are transparent, accountable, aligned with human values.
We can make sure that AI is a force for good.
Exactly. AI that benefits humanity, not harms it.
So anti-fragility isn't just about building better AI, it's about building a better future.
Absolutely. A future where humans and AI can work together to create a world that's more resilient, more equitable, more sustainable.
Wow, this has been an incredible deep dive.
It has. We've covered so much ground.
From the theory of anti-fragility to the practical applications.
And what's really exciting is this is just the beginning.
There's still so much to explore.
So much we don't know yet.
So what's one final thought you want to leave our listeners with?
Let me see if we can design AI that's anti-fragile AI that can learn and thrive in the face of adversity. What does that say about us humans?
Oh, that's a good one. Are we capable of becoming more anti-fragile ourselves?
More resilient, more
Okay,
adaptable,
that's a powerful question, and I think it's one that we all need to think about.
as individuals and as a society.
Well, this has been an amazing conversation.
It has. I've really enjoyed it.
Thank you so much for joining us on this journey into the world of anti-fragile AI.
It's been my pleasure.
We hope you've learned something new and that you'll continue to explore this fascinating topic.
And remember, the world is full of challenges, but it's also full of opportunities.
It's up to us to embrace those opportunities and create something extraordinary.
Exactly. So keep learning, keep exploring, and keep pushing the boundaries of what's possible.
We'll see you on the next deep dive.